Hello everyone, I'm Abby. Welcome to my video discussing, recapping and reviewing Love Island. Well, the episode ends with Trey and Ellie dumped from the island. However, we'll get back to this in more detail as now to the start of the episode. It's morning time with the squinty eyes and the sunglasses. The Love Island day starts off with a quote from Trey. Something like, the man who enjoys the journey will always enjoy more than the man who enjoys the destination. Okay. Meanwhile, Ellie is annoyed with Trey. She thinks he's in the wrong, and Sean makes a groveling breakfast. Then Ciaran tells the boys he made it clear to Nicole that he won't remember the messages from like 10 months ago, and Uma and Matilda find Sean cute. They can't be mad at him. Io finds Jessica hilarious and he's happy to have her there. He said he knew that he's really going to like her and he's liking it more every day. Meanwhile, Mimi is upset and Uma consoles her, and they go inside because Mimi is crying, and Uma calls it insensitive from Io. Mimi said she doesn't know what to do as she's the only single one there, and basically everyone else's couples are getting closer and closer. Then Sean and Matilda chat. She liked the breakfast. She said she's not in the best mood, and he said something's playing on his mind, as he's spoken to Jess, and she said that Matilda was exploring, also that he doesn't know the full extent of what happened with Hugo, that had Hugo not shut it down, what would have happened with them? And Matilda said Hugo didn't shut it down, and she said she's got nothing to apologize for. He said it's been swept under the carpet, and what exactly happened? And she said that he's annoyed her and she walks off. He thinks it's childish, and Jess watches on. Realistically, she should have finished the conversation and not been defensive. Then Uma and Matilda chat. She said she's fuming and she relays the conversation to Uma. And Uma said Matilda was open and that she missed Sean, but he also was open and missed Matilda. Then Matilda said it was flirty chats, that it was different, and Uma thinks that she should speak to Jess. Jess and Matilda chat. Jess acts as if she's as nice as pie. As if. And they chat about what Sean said, and that Sean explained that Matilda and Hugo had a thing, and Jess is acting confused as if she has no clue. But I mean, she started this. Then Jess lies and says she didn't really say anything, that basically she simply pointed at Hugo. And I did tell you that she speaks utter doo-doo. Then Trey and Ellie chat, and they kind of make up. And then there's a text announcing it's time to get red carpet ready, as there's a front row seats for the film festival. Basically, it's movie night. Hugo says it's going to ruffle some feathers, and this is my quote of the episode. Sean and Will say, we're done for, and Joey said he was the best boy there, and him and Ciaran say that they were as good as gold. And let me tell you, Nicole's still going to find some needless fault. So, I've got my ice cream and popcorn ready. It's time for the film festival, movie night, whatever you want to call it. And in the villa, the drinks are flowing, and Joey said, it's a film in the garden. And the first clip is Essex in the city, and it's all about Joey running around after Jessy and Grace. So he says it's deeper with Jessy in 20 minutes than with Grace the whole time, and that he's basically going back and forth with Jessy and Grace. Also, where he says he's transparent, but then he goes to the terrace to kiss Jessy, and then Grace calls him a child, and he said he was done with her before he moved on to Jessy, and she tells him to bore off, man, and he says it back and tells her to jog on. So he said he's moved on, and she said, what, within an hour? And he said it moved fast in here, and that she did the same when Samantha was there. And you know what? That's true. Then he said he's got nothing to say to her, that she's bitter, and she says, shut up, and he says, leave it. So then Sean sort of chimes in, and he said, oh, are you best friends with Jessy because you're still hung up on Joey? And the girls literally all go mad at him, so maybe that wasn't the best move. And then Joey says that Jessy and Grace are not similar. Then it's Jess's clip. Jess calls Harriet cheap, and Jess is saying all sorts of mean stuff behind Harriet's back, and that she has the ick with Trey, basically. She says that she likes Hugo more than Trey, and she also talks behind Matilda's back. So the truth is out about what she said to Sean, that Matilda has got to know other people, and the lies have been revealed. And Matilda calls her a B. Nice, she needs to say something to her. And Matilda said it was just two chats. So then Trey says of Jess, horses for courses, and he's quite mature. He didn't say anything else. Then there's clips of Ciaran saying he would have kissed Grace if he didn't cop out for one of the games, and also the chats with Ellie about the messages and the villa chats they had, like if she came here from the start, then Ciaran said, I guess we'll never know, which was very appropriate and the best response. But Nicole's still fuming about even things like that. And Io said you can't win to Ciaran, and it's a rarity. However, Io is right for this. Nicole is being silly for no reason. What's new? Ciaran rightly says that she said stuff to the girls behind his back, and he looks stressed. He really is walking on eggshells. It's all about irrelevant past stuff brought up, which is really out of context. It's kind of boring, and even Joey got less stick about this for doing more. Ciaran, just run. Next, there's a clip of Blade, and it's called Blade Running. And Blade says that Will, Joey, and Ciaran's heads will turn, and that Joey's not the quickest. He thinks Will's eyes were elsewhere, and that his eyes were on Uma, and all about the hole in the basket conversation. And it's double standards, as he was saying the same thing to Grace. But then Will says, your whole clip was about slating the boys, and Joey says he's quicker than him in a race and in the mind and basically everything. And Joey said you're judging a book by its cover. Also, that Blade will never outsmart him. And Will basically calls him two-faced. Then Blade says he was either going to choose Io or Ciaran for whether the heads will turn. And Io says, why me? And the girl says, well, was he wrong? Io should have really stayed quiet for that part. Grace said he's being truthful, but was he really? As he said he had eyes for her and Uma, and that the boys who did the same thing were wrong for it. Anyway, then they show the clips of the Casa Amor boy, maybe Jake, saying that Sean is punching, and it shows that Matilda didn't stick up for him, and the boys say that Sean isn't punching. Then to the clip where Matilda says it's early and she's open for Hugo, and he says it's one way with Sean, and out of Matilda and Jess that it's her. And Sean said that she could have backed him up, and that's true. And Matilda's silent, probably for the first time. And Hugo said he wasn't digging him out, but was he not? Then Matilda pipes up, and the girls always think they're right in these types of games. Anyway, then it's Io's clip. He thinks Jessica is pretty, also his type. Awkward. And he says she has a different energy. And the clip where Sean says that Jessica has a spice. And then Io in the clip where he says that he's here to find what he's looking for, and that Jessica's here, and that Mimi's there, and that she's his cup of tea, and the kissing in bed and that kind of things. And Mimi, come on, you need to speak out now. So Mimi says she feels sick, that it's embarrassing, also that she needed to see that. And Uma said it's not you to Jessica, that it's Io. And Jessica apologizes. Is she sucking up or genuine? Mimi is annoyed, and Io said it all happened naturally, and Jessica said to Io that he's not being compassionate. Io basically says he wasn't closed off, and, well, we all know he was wide open. And Mimi said she's happy for him, that it's about that respect, and she stays dignified. Nicole, take note. But I mean, how do we interpret this? Is Jessica sucking up, or is she genuine? What's your opinions? Comment below. Then about the eggy bread, eggy boff, whatever game, and the clips where Nicole is fuming, and she says it's the little things that Ciaran does, and that he's childish, and the who's Emma clip, and Ciaran's watching this very closely, and Ciaran said this is all the stuff she didn't tell him, the childish stuff, and she said it was child, not childish, and he said it's one rule for her and different for him, and Emma backs Ciaran. Jess butts in and she talks some rubbish, and it's all very unreasonable from her as they gaslight Ciaran basically. And then there's the next clip from Dusk Till Dawn, and it's where he's talking to Ruby, also Diamante, and paying compliments to the girls and saying, right now you're my priority. And yeah, he uses the word right now, so that's been like the last 3 days, the same kind of stuff. But where he kisses Diamante, and it's all very cringe. And Sean said it's nothing new, but he understands it's not nice to see, and that saying it is different to watching it. And then Ellie pipes up for no reason. It's like, be quiet, you're just an extra. Anyway, Sean said it was early days, and Sean says Hugo closed her down, or maybe it would have been a different story. And when he asks Hugo, did you shut it down with Matilda, Hugo said he just didn't pursue it. Nice pivot there. And Matilda thinks it's lies. And Will said Sean's well within his rights to ask, and Joey said he's owning it. They do make some valid points here. Sean said his feelings were made clear, but hers weren't. Then there's the clips, Wild Will West, that Uma's not giving him the kiss basically, and also that he was talking to Matilda and Jessy. Then Jess pipes up again and is blaming Jessy basically. It's like, just be quiet. And then from the clips, Will says that he likes petite blondes and that he wanted Lucy in bed the most, and the kissing and things like that. And also when he said he gets along quicker with her than with Uma, and how would you feel if I picked you, all the comments that Will had said. And now Uma is now fuming. She calls Will embarrassing. Will says nothing. Then he says he wanted to do it, and it was the wrong thing to say. See, Nicole said more than all of them for less. Anyway, Will goes on to say all the boys agrees with him, and even Mimi speaks out for Uma, and it's said that Will doesn't have any empathy, and Uma calls him a loser, but Will stands by what he's done. Then the game ends, and Jessica checks in on Uma. She's not okay, and Uma wants Will to be sorry, and she's giving more energy here than to Will's face. And then Jessica wants to talk to Mimi, and she apologizes. Nicole and Ciaran chat. He said, "Why are you still with me?" And she says, "Dunno." She said, nothing she said was bad, and something about that they can't really trust each other. And she said, everyone in there is two-faced. Ciaran said if she doesn't think his intentions are pure, then it's mad. And they say they make each other's heads spin. He said, "Are you not happy at all?" And she said, "You do make me happy." And they kiss. So the threat of him leaving makes her simmer right down because she's not going anywhere, and she knows it. A text announces the voting for the most compatible couples. Trey and Ellie received the fewest votes, and they're dumped from the island. I mean, that's reasonable, but it could have been either Io or Jess. Anyway, Jess and Ellie ruined it for Trey, and Joey calls it savage. And that's really the end of the episode. So from my point of view, the episode was an 8 out of 10. It was entertaining with some chaos thrown in, loads of overreacting from Nicole, and the girls overall being quite stubborn. And I even felt sorry for some of the boys like Sean and Ciaran. However, Io was, well, Io, and Will was being ridiculous and unbothered. But what's your opinions? What did you think of the episode? Comment below. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and catch you for the next episode.